Okay, so again, order of operations. Remember with the order of operations, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Adding, subtracting is last. That's the main thing to remember. Okay. So then now where do you start? Notice how we have brackets here. There's a bracket here and here. And then within that, we have a parenthesis here and here. Yeah, I should just do them right where they're at. Brackets right there, and then parentheses inside of those, huh? Well, a bracket, let me just write, bracket is the same as a parenthesis. It's just a fancy parenthesis. And so is a curly bracket, by the way. Sometimes they'll do a curly bracket. Those are all the same. There's no difference. Bracket, curly bracket, parenthesis, all the same. They're all just different kinds of fancy parentheses. Specifically, they're grouping symbols is what they are. They group things together. Grouping symbols. So anyway, number one, you start on the innermost group. Start with the innermost group because, you know, parentheses are first, right? But when we say parentheses, we mean brackets or parentheses or curly brackets. It's all the same. Innermost. Innermost. Right? I tried to make that into one word. I don't think innermost is one word. I think it's two. The innermost, brackets, parentheses, curly brackets, start on the innermost and then work your way out. So that means I'm going to start right in here, aren't I? With the 7 times 3 minus 2. And what am I going to do first? I'm going to multiply 7 times 3 to be 21. See that right there? So let me bring that down. So it's 4 bracket 7 plus 2. And right
We're not,
there,
Mr. Heron, we're not going to times the inside of the parentheses by 2.
Good question. That's another option. I'm going to wait and do it after I've made it 19. But you're right, though. You could have taken this 2 and distributed it to both those. It'll come out the same answer either way. It's actually your option. It'll work the same either way. Yeah, that's called the distribution rule. You've probably seen that. You're right. The distribution rule gives you the option. You can either figure out the inside first and then multiply the 2, or you can multiply the 2 to both of them right away. It'll be the same answer either way. Good question. So, all right, so now, so there was the first step, right? Step 1, I did the inner parentheses, which became 19. You guys tracking with me? Now these inner parentheses have now become 19. And so now what am I going to do next? Well, here's the mistake a lot of people make is they'll go, okay, 7 plus 2 is 9. Nope, I can't do that next, can I? Because remember, adding, subtracting is last. So then what do? 2 times 19. You got to do 2 times 19 first off. Right? Gotta do that. Then add these up. Right? Because why? Because multiplying comes before adding, subtracting. So this multiplication happens first, then add afterwards. Final step, multiply these guys. Use your calculator. I think that's 180. 180. So there's a lot of steps to that one. So one more time, let me rehash. You please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which means you start with parentheses, but by parentheses we mean any of these. These are all forms of parentheses, brackets, curly brackets, regular parentheses, whatever. And you start with the innermost. Go in the intersanctum here. Start right there. And you got to multiply first. 21 minus 2 becomes 19. And then we can't add. We have to multiply first. 38, then we add them, then we multiply. There's our answer.